Good morning, everyone. My name is Samrat. I'm the country head of EURAXESS. I'm very happy that you are joining this very exciting webinar. I hope for you, it's about the Marie Skłodowska Curie Actions Individual Fellowship postdoc program. First of all, I would really like to apologize to those who tried to log in to this webinar on Tuesday this week. Due to some technical difficulties, some of you were not able to log in. That's why we decided to reschedule it. I see a very good number of attendees. I will not take too much time. Just to let you know that, of course, we're experiencing a very difficult global crisis right now with the COVID-19 pandemic, but still research is happening on all fronts. Mobility programs are still on. This is the good news. The EU is very much committed to continue its grant funding programs, especially for young researchers. And this postdoc opportunity we will present today will give you a good understanding what opportunities are there for those who want to do a postdoc. We also are very fortunate that we have two experts speakers today here. First of them is Dr. Vivek Dham. He's the senior advisor at the EU delegation to India at the Research Innovation section. He has a vast background in research and research policy. He will be the main speaker today. He will guide you through the Marie Curie individual fellowship, like how to apply, what are the nitty-gritty details of this postdoc. And the second speaker is Dr. Praveen Kumar, who is the chair of the Marie Curie Alumni Association here in India. Dr. Praveen himself is a Marie Curie individual fellowship recipient. So he has done his postdoc in Europe through this grant. So he will also be kind of give testimony to what it means to have this very prestigious postdoc position. And Dr. Praveen is also assistant professor at the School of Material Science at the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science in Kolkata. Thank you both, Dr. Vivek and Dr. Praveen, for joining us here today. So without any further delay, I would like to pass on the floor to Dr. Vivek. Just one rule here is that you are on listening mode, dear attendees, and we have a question room in this app where you can pose your questions as we go with the presentation. We will try to answer those during the session, but we will also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the webinar, and we will try to answer as much as questions as possible. If there are questions unanswered due to time constraints, please send us your questions on india@euraxess.net, and we will try to answer them or forward them to respective speakers as well. So if you have a question to Dr. Vivek or Dr. Praveen or to me, just please write it to whom this question is addressed, and we will collect these questions and try to answer them as we go. So that was one of the guidelines. And now, please, Dr. Vivek, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samrat. I guess all of you can hear me. I will start the presentation. Just a minute. I will just share my screen. Can you see my presentation? Samrat, can you confirm that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start my presentation, which mainly focused on how to apply for Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Individual Fellowship Program for 2020. But as Samrat already mentioned, that we are in very difficult global crisis, and we highly appreciate that still you people are coming out and showing interest in European program. Which is a part of Horizon 2020, and I'm very thankful for all of you for participating in this first webinar organized by EURAXESS India. As the epidemic spreads across the globe, the more and more people wanted to know what the researchers, what the scientists are doing. And when the politicians are closing the borders, is the scientists actually breaking the borders, because the knowledge that the breakthrough right now is shared across the world, across all the countries, and that is exactly the rationale behind the Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Program. It is meant for the global collaborations, mobility of researchers sharing the knowledge. I will come to that point in detail in coming coming hours. So my presentation is roughly for 30 to 40 minutes, but as already mentioned by Samrat, we will be having a Q&A at the end of the session. So when it comes to European Commissions gives broad scale of career development opportunities for all the stages of your research career, starting from the master's degree, that is Erasmus Mundus program, Marie Skłodowska Curie program, which covers the PhD, postdoc, mobility of experienced researchers. Then those can have a higher experience and excellence. They can try for European Research Council grants. There are different council grants, but today's topic we will focus on Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Program. So the Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Program is basically a part of Horizon 2020 framework program of European Commission. So this program is built on 3 pillars, that is excellence of science, societal challenges, and individual industrial leadership. So under the excellence of science, the Marie Skłodowska Curie program and ERC are integrated in. So basically this program is meant for developing new skills, new knowledge, and innovation. I will come to that point in detail, but if you look at the amount of funding European Commission had invested under the Marie Skłodowska Curie program is 6 billion euros for 7 years. They plan around 65,000 researchers to fund, out of that 25,000 PhDs and more than 30,000 participants as the research collaborators across the world. Is one of the best mobility and skill development program as far as the research and innovation is concerned. So this is a small graphic how the Commission had over the time period emphasized and invested heavily in mobility and skill development program of researchers. That is started from FP6 to the FP7. Now it is almost double. It started with almost 30 billion. Now it is 6 billion euros. So why this fuss about the mobility of researchers under the Marie Curie program? Basically, the mobility is the key requirement under the Marie Curie program, because what the Commission sees that the mobility is one of the way of sharing and transferring knowledge between the countries, between the sectors, organizations, and disciplines. So why do they fund 6 billion euros for mobility? Because they want acquisition of new knowledge, new skills, and having a new perspective. All contributes to the creativity, efficacy, global establishing global network, and developing a culture of collaboration. This is what exactly the rationale, that is the core of the entire Marie Skłodowska Curie program. Funding, they are funding excellence researchers in all fields. It is a bottom-up approach. Non-academic sectors, specifically the industry and SMEs, are highly encouraged. Promoting business academic collaboration is one of the core area of collaborations. This also supports all nationalities. It doesn't differentiate the researchers with the nationalities. Any age of researchers can participate at any stage of career. So promotion of attractive work conditions and employment condition is one of the main factor where the Marie Skłodowska Curie Action is providing a good environment for the researchers. Equal opportunities and peer review process is the key of this particular program. This is what it's meant for a brand. This program is basically divided into 4 or 5 different actions. Basically, these are meant for supporting research training, career development, funding excellence of research, bottom-up approach, promoting research mobility, stimulating international, intersectoral, interdisciplinary cooperation. So this is what the 4 schemes looks like. But I will today's focus is individual fellowships. I will basically focus on individual fellowships only, but you can see all the other details on Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Program, that is for the PhD, how to get a PhD scholarship, as well as the mobility of researchers across the different sectors. So we are giving this presentation after the webinar. These presentations will be shared with you. So today's focus area is individual fellowship 2020. What are the Marie Curie individual fellowships meant for? It is meant for individuals, transnational fellowships, awards to the best and most promising experienced researchers across the world. What are the main aims of this particular program? Is enhancing the creative and innovation potential of experienced researchers. That is, they want to support the best researchers across the world to find a new skills, new knowledge, as well as to share the knowledge with Europe, as well as acquire European knowledge to your home country experience. The advanced research training and mobility is the key of that particular program. So when it comes to a Marie Skłodowska Curie Action Program specifically for individual fellowship, this is not a regular research project. If you look into this particular program or this particular fellowship, it is meant to develop a different connections, different collaborative, long collaborative research bonds between different countries, institutions. So when you are applying as an individual, but you are applying, you are representing your country, your lab, and you are going to an institutions in Europe that is who is going to supervise you for a postdoc. So the bond between India and Europe is understood, or it is expected that you will be the bridge between these two laboratories, and the research which is binding factor between these labs is your research program, which is meant for excellence of research and innovation. So who can apply? This is what the main presentation starts with. It is meant for the individual, most experienced, promising researchers of any nationality can apply at any stage. Please note down, any nationality at any stage of any discipline. I will come to the what are the different areas funded under the Marie Skłodowska Curie actions. Basically, it is a bottom-up approach. Eligible researchers, what you need to at the time of application, it is PhD degree in hand at the time of submission of your proposal, or at least 4 years of full-time equivalent research experience at the relevant at the time of submission. So how does it calculate? Basically, when you registered for a PhD, suppose somebody is an engineer but worked as a researchers for a long time in industry or even institutions, they can prove that their research experience is span for 4 years. They can also eligible. So basically, the research organizations are also are part of eligible organizations, because this meant for the mobility between different organizations to organizations. So when I talk about the eligible organization, I meant host organization should be the institution actively participating in research and innovation activity in European member state and associated country, either in academic sector or in private sector. It can be a university, public institution, private research organization, SME, industry. So any of this particular organization can act as a host organization to host you as a postdoc. So which are the countries can act as a host in Europe for you? If you look at the European Union, specifically for Horizon 2020, Europe has a 28 member state. Now it become 27. I will come to that point, and 16 associated countries. So when you are applying for a postdoctoral research program, so you are having an option of 44 countries to choose as a host institution. So which are these countries where you can go as a who can host you? So right now there are 27 member states. This is the list of the member states. UK is just had a Brexit, so I will come to that point in just a minute. And then there are 16 associated countries, which basically in India, the Switzerland, Norway, as well as Israel is also a very strong bilateral collaboration. So those are also part of our Horizon 2020 program. So you can choose any institutions from these 44 countries and all the third countries. So remember that apart from this 44 countries in Marie Skłodowska Curie program, you will be referred so many times you will come across the world third countries. That means non-European countries are referred as third countries. So what about the UK? Can you go as a postdoc to the UK university? Yes. Even the Brexit happened, but the what is the agreement that till end of the Horizon 2020 means not in 2020, but basically the entire term, the any Indian or any international fellow can continue to receive the fund under the Horizon 2020. So in short, the UK, you can choose United Kingdom as an host as well. You will be getting a fellowship till end of your tenure. So the next question comes, how do you find, how can I find the host in these 44 countries? So this is one of the most challenging tasks you will come across. Basically, the finding a host is, I can see that it is a 50% efforts or 50% job of success. Samrat is going to let you know how to find the host, because there are different tools available, online platforms are available to find the proper host. But this is one of the main skills you will need to find appropriate host to support your postdoc for 1 or 2 years. So who can apply the mobility rules? So basically, the researchers shall not have received or carried out their main research activity in the country of their future host for more than 12 months in last 3 years. What it means, for suppose I'm an Indian researchers. In last 3 years, for example, I worked in France in Pasteur Institute. So I cannot apply in France as a postdoc as again, not only Pasteur, but any of the French institutions. So if I want to go as apply as a Marie Curie postdoc, I need to choose a country other than France. So please remember that in last 3 years, you should not have passed more than 12 months at that particular country. Otherwise, you will be disqualified, as you will not fulfill the eligibility criteria. So this particular program, the individual fellowship, is divided into two parts. One is European fellowship and global fellowship. Please note down European fellowships and global fellowship. As an Indian researchers who wants to go from India to Europe, you will concentrate only on European fellowship. Please note down the areas, the action which is relevant to the Indian researchers applying for postdoc is European fellowship. Under the European fellowships, there are again 4 subcategories. One is standard fellowship, career research panel, reintegration, and society and enterprise panel. Again, Indians who wants to go to Europe, standard European fellowship is the action they should target in. Others actions are meant for Europeans staying abroad, wanted to come to Europe. So please note down, Indians apply European fellowship, standard European fellowships. The global fellowship is meant for the European researchers, those researchers who are in European nationality or researchers residing in European countries for more than 5 years are eligible for global fellowships. They can go from Europe to any of the other countries across the world. So that is why European going out of the Europe is termed as global fellowship. I think few of the Europeans are also participating in this particular program. We will explain you how the global fellowships works in later stages. So European fellowship is meant for 12 to 24 months. So your postdoc is meant for 12 to 24 months, and mobility from your home country, that is India, to any of the 44 countries which I listed, you can choose any of the country, is mandatory. Whereas the global fellowship is meant for the Europeans going out of Europe, for example, in India, and coming back. So phase 1 is outgoing fellowship for them. It is meant for 12 to 24 months. And after completion of 12 to 24 months, they can come back to Europe in their host institutions as incoming fellowship program. So basically it is 36 months fellowships for the global program. So how does the European fellowship works for? Researchers applying jointly with the host institution. Please remember, you are not applying individually, you are applying with your host institution in European member state or associated countries. Again, I refer to that 44 countries where one of the institutions will act as an host. So the submission of your application will be by the host institutions, and the host institutions will recruit you as a researcher. Please remember this particular point. So how does it work again? The standard European fellowship proposal is evaluated in 8 scientific panels. Please remember, 8 scientific panels. Again, I will not go into the other disciplines where it is not relevant for you. The 8 scientific panels are as below: chemistry, social science and humanities, economical sciences, ICT and engineering, environmental sciences, earth sciences, life sciences, mathematical sciences, and physics. So these are the broad 8 areas of scientific field. When you are submitting an application, you need to select on your own which scientific field or panel is most relevant to your research proposal. Please remember that you need to select on your own. Again, the mobility rule, you cannot go to the same country where last 12 you had spent 12 months in last 3 years. So global fellowship, this is just meant for the European researchers who are participating in this. European global fellowship is meant for Europeans to come to other than non-European countries, for example in India. So we will help them in all possible ways. But just to give you in clarity, the European researchers need to identify a host institution within the European country. That host institute is your applying on behalf of yours to European Commission as a potential researchers for global fellowship. You also need a partner organizations from third country, for example from India, for example IIT or IIC could be of your institution. They needs to give you a commitment letter at the time of submission of application. So what does the funding covers? It covers all possible expenses, cost of researchers and secondment staff, and organizations cost. So that covers living allowances, mobility allowances, family allowances for the individual, organization cost, that is the host institution who is receiving you or hosting you will get funding from European Commissions for research activity, networking, training, management, and indirect cost. But apart from that, the host institution also invests a little bit more money for administration of your fellowship. So how much it is? Oops, just a minute, I just lost. How much is the fellowship provided for postdocs? So living allowance is 4,650 euros per month. Plus you will get mobility allowance of 600 euros. Plus you will get family allowance of 500 euros. Plus the research institutions who is hosting you will receive 800 euros and 500 euros as the total package of your fellowship program. So how do you write a proposal? But before I start giving you the details, I am associated with this particular program since last 6-7 years, and based on our experience and observation, I wanted to give some tips which may help you to write a proper proposal. Before you start preparing a proposal, I want you to do a SWOT analysis of yourself. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities? You need to identify what you are as a researchers. That is very important to put that particular perspective on paper, because when you are going as a postdoc to European lab, you need to show a European host. You need to convince the European host you are the best candidate who can invest money and time, because you are the worth candidate having excellent skills. So you need to project what are the skills which can benefit to that particular lab. So first, SWOT analysis of yourself. Then also you have to understand and analyze what are the strengths and weaknesses of the host European lab. Why, what additional scientific dimension you can bring to that particular lab, what are the things you can learn from them, because this fellowship is not only about the research but is also about giving your skills, knowledge, and transferring that knowledge to European community and the lab, and also requiring new knowledge from them. So it is a give and take kind of a relation. So that is very important when you are writing a proposal, when you are approaching to an host, to put forward this particular point. And the third point, when you are writing a proposal, you also need to understand that you are competing with the researchers across the world. So it is a very prestigious, very highly competitive program. So before starting a proposal, you need to read the work program of Marie Skłodowska Curie Action. What is the rationale, why they had started this particular program? What is the idea behind it? Why they investing 6 billion euros in 7 years? So you need to understand, apart from the research is excellent, research no doubt is very important, but understanding the philosophy of the funders, understanding the rationale behind the program is very important. So please read the work program of Horizon 2020, Marie Skłodowska Curie 2020. It is available on the website. After the seminar, we will share these details, again the links with you. So this particular program is divided, the application part is divided in two parts basically, part A and part B. So part A is basically an online application form, which is a fixed format. Okay, this particular format normally is used to see initial admissibility of your proposal, whether you are followed, whether you are fit to consider for evaluation, whether all the criteria are full. So very important thing, it is an administrative form to be filled by you as well as the host institutions. It has a 5 different sections: general information and instructions, that is your acronym of your project, abstract, scientific areas, description, administrative data of your organization in Europe. Please remember, organization in Europe, not organization in India. The PIC, I will come to that point later on. Then the second point is budget. You will be asked at this initial part of the budget is give a consolidated budget, how much required for 12 months or 24 months, whatever the duration you want. Then the ethics is very important. Those people are working in the life sciences. Please go through the ethics very carefully along with your host institutions. Plus call specific questions. Please, I will come to this particular point later in my presentation. So part A is basically meant for administrative form requirement, which is fixed data to be entered online. Part B, which is a Word format, it is also available. The templates are also available on the internet. We can also share the templates of this part B. This is basically your research proposal. This is the heart of your proposal, which is you can download the template. You start writing this particular proposal in Word format. Remember, the page limit is 10 pages maximum for research part. Research part, please underline that. It is divided in 3 sections: excellence, impact, and implementation. Your 10 pages should convince the evaluators why this particular proposal should be considered and how the excellence is depicted, how the impact is depicted, and implementation. Most of the time, the people are putting a lot of emphasis or a lot of weightage on excellence. That is excellent part, very good. But don't forget that the impact is very important. The evaluators are also looking how this particular program or how this particular fellowship is going to impact in two ways. One is as an individual researchers, what kind of a knowledge you are going to transfer, what kind of a knowledge you are going to get it, what kind of a research career you are looking for a long-term basis, and how it is going to make an effect or impact between the collaborations or bilateral relations between the two labs which you belongs to. So very important to put a lot of thought process in impact, and then the implementation, because you will have only 12 months or 24 months, so you need to very categorically plan your research activity. Again, the page limit is 10 pages maximum. What is in part B? Basically, part B is a free document which there is no page limit. The CV, that is very crucial to entire thing, because the evaluators will judge your research experience, the skills and excellence based on CV. Normally 5 pages are required. That is what is anticipated. You can see the guidelines available on the Marie Curie, but on an average 5 pages. Put most relevant information in your CV. Project how good and what are the patents, applications, research, publications. All this information should come into the CV, so that the researcher, the evaluator should be convinced that you are the best candidate for this particular program. Then the participating organization capacity, because you also need to study along with your host institution. You will fill up or develop this particular part. If they are also hosting ERC, Marie Curie, or any other international research project, please do include this particular as in capacity. It's very important to showcase that you are going one of the best lab in Europe, and you can be in good hand, and we will get a very good research training at that particular laboratory. Then ethical aspects, letter of commitment, that is only meant for Europeans who are going out of Europe, that is for the global fellowship. The evaluation process. So the second part, first the SWOT analysis of yourself, then the analyze the host institution, and analyze the mentality, the way the evaluation is going to take place. So you need to understand the researchers, the evaluators mind. So please refer to the different documents, different already funded programs, projects under the Marie Curie project. It is a single stage. What it means, you don't ask for a elaborated proposal. You have only one chance to submit a proposal. Please note that under the Marie Curie program, at one time you will can apply for only one proposal, not to a different countries and different hosts. You will be able to apply only one at one host institution. Research agency in European Commission, which is an independent agency, evaluate this particular proposals. Trust me, this is one of the best evaluation agency in the world. It is one of the highly rated for its transparency, because the experts are independent. They don't represent any country institutions. Their identity is kept confidential. It is a peer review process, and any researchers, any expert across the world can register in European Commission's database and can be an expert evaluator. But trust me, these are done by one of the best experts across the world who will judge your proposal. And to make this particular process more transparent, there are also observers and reporters to report the fairness of the process. Again, this entire proposal is evaluated in 3 criteria. excellence, impact, and implementation. Excellence will have 50% weightage, impact will have 30%, and implementation 20. So please design your proposal in a such a way that the evaluators can judge your research skills and output based on these particular 3 parameters. Use a lot of diagrams, flow charts, so that you will reduce the number of words and it will give you a lot of impact in presenting the proposal. The proposal is divided again into a different score methods, 0 to 5, that is from poor to excellence, that is the ranking they normally use it. It is into the 3 different panels. The 3 evaluators, independent evaluators, evaluate your proposal. Proposals will be ranked within the panels by overall scores. That is what I already mentioned, different panels meant for different subjects. Evaluation summary report will be provided to every applicant after the evaluation. That is the one of the best thing, because you are successful or not successful, you will understand on what basis your application is judged, why you are selected, why you are not selected. If you are not selected, don't give up, you can try next year again. But this particular evaluation summary report, it will give you the reason behind the success or failure. So you can apply over and over again in different years program until you are successful. So what is the timeline? Basically, the deadline is 8th of September 2020. The evaluation will happen between October to December 2020. The launch of grant preparation will start from February 2020, and you are expected to start your postdoc in Europe or within India from 1st of March 2021 or September 2021. So that is the timeline. So if it comes to India as a third country, this is quite an encouraging figures. The Indians are doing fantastic, extremely well in Marie Curie program. If you look at this particular program, individual fellowship, as of today, that is the data which is December 2019, there are 201 postdocs from India managed to crack the individual fellowships. India ranked among the top country as far as the third countries is concerned, followed by China, US, and Russia. These are other countries, but India is doing fantastically well. The success rate is approximately 15%. Take my word, this is one of the highly competitive program. On an average, we receive 10,000 proposals across the world for individual fellowships only. So 15% is the success rate. So you need to spend a lot of time to prepare yourself. And good thing that the Indian researchers had already demonstrated that they are extremely good when it comes to competing with the international forum. So as I said, don't be disheartened if you fail a first chance. There is another option within this particular program is called widening of fellowship. Please write down this word, widening of the fellowship. This particular widening of the fellowship is meant for a very specific European countries which they wanted to elaborate the research areas to different areas. Because if you look at this, where the Indians or the normally trend is going, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, Spain, these are the favored destinations by Indians to go as a postdoc or as a Marie Curie fellow. So what happens, a lot of European small countries are left because they are not visible enough outside the world. So that is why the European Commission had started this widening program in 2017. So this is specifically for those country if your host is from this particular group. The European member state, there are 15 European countries which are listed. If you are, your research institutes is host institutions belong to these particular countries, that is 15 member state, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Poland. I know Hungary, and Hungary has one of the best research institutions. Even the Czech Republic also has one of, but very few people in India knows that these countries are also having an excellence research and innovation capacity. So to widening this excellence, if your host institution is from this particular country, you will have a second chance. There is also the list of associated countries, for example, Turkey, Ukraine or Albania. These are also countries part of European program. If one of your applicants having a host institutions from this particular country, you will have a second chance to be funded. How does it work? The application is the same under the Marie Curie Individual Fellowship. Under this particular program, there will be an option for you to select if you wanted to opt for widening of the fellowship. In part A of the application, where I said structured data, you will have an option whether you want to opt for widening of the fellowship. You have to click yes or no. If you click yes, and if you manage to score more than 70%, that is the threshold limit where the selections are happened, and due to a lack of fund or fund exhaustion from the European fellowship program, you are not able to select under the European fellowship program, you will be automatically transferred to this widening fellowship. But remember, your host institution should be from this particular countries, not automatically. If you are going to France, this will not apply to your case. The country should be from this particular group. So if you select yes, you will be automatically considered for, you will get a second chance. Your application is will be shared with your host institutions in that particular country. The evaluation will also remark what is the score and whether you are having a sufficient score to be considered under the widening scholarship program. So this is what the application procedure is. But to prepare yourself, I advise you strongly to go through a different programs, the research proposals which are already funded under the Marie Curie program. So the keyword is CORDIS, CORDIS, and projects. You will find number of projects proposals which are already funded, to just to understand what kind of a research is funded by the European Commission. So how to apply? Again, we are leaving this particular slide with you. This is online application procedures. The call is open. It will close on 8th of September, Brussels time, 17 hours. It will be closing. Everything is online. Please note that. And you will be applying as a postdoc along with your host institution. Your host institution has a final button to press as a submission of your application. How to apply? Again, please note that we receive a lot of queries from Indian researchers that I don't find my host institution as eligible. The host institutions mean your host institution in Europe and not in India. Okay, so each host will have a participant identification code, is called PIC, PIC. So you need to register the PIC number of European institution and not the PIC number of Indian institution. Please note that. Similarly, the European fellowships under the global fellowship, those European fellows coming to India will also use their host institution in Europe, their PIC number, because they are applying you as an host potential candidate. I'm in the last part of my presentation. You will have a lot of information available online, that is guide for application. Please read this particular document, is very helpful. We are also regularly referring to this to answer your queries. So the key of this European application process, read carefully each and everything, even the footnotes. Who can help you out? Basically, the EURAXESS India is the agency or the organization to help you out at all stages of your application. There are also national contact points in Europe who can help you out. European delegation can also advise you, can direct you to a proper people as well. Plus, the European alumni network is one of the best people to seek an advice for them. When you are preparing a proposal, please read all the documents very carefully. Use the official template. Ask for support again and again. Don't hesitate from the contact point, from the EURAXESS. Please don't hesitate, because once you leave, lost the time, you will not able to gain that particular time. So spend sufficient time, because you will have almost 6 months time to prepare your application. Do not leave yourself for the last minute, because sometimes you stretch too long, sometimes due to the internet failure or access of a website, you will unable to submit the proposal. So do it very well in advance. Proposal preparation, again, this is the best time, because the European host, your potential supervisors are locked down. They can see, discuss, you can have a Skype meetings, you can have exchange of your ideas. This is the best period to get in touch with those people, so that you have a mutual understanding and mutually can develop a research proposal. I think I will leave it here, and these are the website which will be shared with you. I think I will stop it here, and you can write to us at the Delegation India Research and Innovation or India EURAXESS. We are more than happy to help you out. All the best. Thank you.
Vivek, thank you so much for this very clear and structured presentation about the Marie Curie Individual Fellowship. Dear attendees, as you can see, you have a vast opportunity. 43 countries you can apply to, and it is, it's a unique fellowship, and it's a very prestigious fellowship, as Vivek told. You can compare it to like getting a postdoc in Harvard, Princeton, or Yale in the US. It's on that category, and Dr. Praveen can definitely also agree on that. A few things before we hand over the floor to Praveen. If you approach a potential host, a supervisor, some tips how to approach them. In the Indian context, we often send an email where we say a lot about ourselves, who we are, what we did, and so forth, which is good. But another important tip is do the research first about your supervisor. Who is he? What has he published? What is his research area? Who are his peers? What is the institute doing? Show that you know about them well. You also write about yourself, that you are good and qualified enough, but do your homework and approach them in this manner. I think that's one other aspect. And also, as Dr. Vivek said, I will tell you a bit more later how to find host institutions. That's one of the key. You should start now preparing. 6 months seems to be a long time, but it goes very fast. So now is a good time to prepare, and we will also do one webinar on proposal writing. We will have an expert with us, go you through the application parts, which Vivek introduced very well and gave you a good overview what's expected from you. Vivek, we have a couple of questions which I think would be good if you could answer them now. I'm selecting two of them. One question was the travel ban right now in Europe. So what is the impact for applicants right now, postdoc PhDs? What is the scenario right now, since we are witnessing a travel ban right now? That was one question. Could you elaborate on that a bit from the EU delegation's perspective?
Can you hear me, Samrat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of today, we haven't received any instructions from Brussels or Marie Curie program about the restrictions, because if you are selected, the normal timeline is somewhere to begin from March 2021 till September 2021. So by that time, a lot of things will we anticipate that will evolve, will find new solutions. But we will come back to this particular questions once and when the Marie Curie gives a clear indication. But right now, the application is on. Application can be submitted, and your results will be by February. So don't worry about that. You just keep on applying. It will not hamper your mobility as of today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vivek. Another question which I would like you to reply is that there is one attendee who's asking about his field of chemistry. What are the enough numbers of publications which are required when you apply? Like, can you elaborate on that? Like,
Okay. Basically, if you
all
yeah,
disciplines.
I got it. Yeah. So there is no fixed criteria that number of publications doesn't mean anything. Basically, you have one publication with very good impact will also serve the purpose, or you have 10 publications with impact factor of 0.5 or 1. So it is up to you. How do you present yourself as an researchers with a potential of having a new ideas to transfer or translate into European lab, as well as to get information from them. So the number of publication is not a selection criteria. It has the entire package of your research proposal, your career development, and your lab and post lab, how beneficial it is. So I told you this is not a regular research proposal or research fellowship. It meant to develop a bonds between the two labs. So you have two parts. One is research and one is this. So you need to fuse both the things very well.
Thank you, Vivek. I also wanted to stress what you mentioned about the widening fellowship. I think the European research area is very much integrated, and if you go to a country like Hungary or Czech Republic, you still have the possibility to work and travel and collaborate researchers in Germany, France, as well, you know. So this is very important for our dear Indian researchers to understand. Choosing those countries is as beneficial as choosing France, UK, or Germany as a destination. I think Dr. Praveen can also elaborate on that.
So just one small point to add with Samrat. Just remember that the Marie Curie is also looking for, not only they want to have a new generation of researchers. They want research to be translated from the lab to the market, to the more applicable, innovative way. So when you are going to propose your proposal, make sure in the impact of your proposal, what kind of a approach you are proposing to the evaluators, that how this lab research is going to translate into a different market oriented. So remember, this is the new way. They want not only the researchers wants them to be an entrepreneurs. So that's a new way of nurturing the scientific skills. That is the core part of the Marie Curie program.
Thank you. Vivek, last question was regarding a global fellowship. We have one researcher based in Europe to come to India, and is there a possibility us to put her in contact with other global fellows, to exchange experience?
We can certainly ask information from our headquarters, which are the global fellows already in India. We can definitely make an effort to assist the researchers from Europe. Please ask them to drop a line so that we will find a relevant information.
Yeah, we will ask that participant to send us an email, and we will take it from there. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Vivek, for now. Now the floor goes to Dr. Praveen Kumar. He is the chair of the Marie Curie Alumni Association, the Indian chapter. As he's himself a Marie Curie individual fellowship recipient. So we're very happy you're here with us, and looking forward to your presentation. Also sharing a bit about your experience of being a recipient of this very prestigious postdoc fellowship. Thank you, Praveen. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it's visual now. My presentation is visual, I think.
Yes.
Just have to make the full screen. If you could screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Samrat and Dr. Vivek for inviting Marie Curie Alumni Indian chapter. Basically, I'm associated with the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. You know, Professor Sir C.V. Raman, where this novel invention Raman got invented. So, as Dr. Vivek has told you, that it's one of the prestigious fellowship named by Madam Curie, which she got Nobel Prize 2 times, and it is one of the highest paid fellowship. Apart from that, it has a lot of other benefits, as Dr. Vivek has mentioned, like you have a travel and research allowances. It is one of the lifetime achievements. And now we have more than 80,000 fellow worldwide. So to use them, to use their expertise, we created this Marie Curie Alumni Association. So basically, it is a actually association which is having a lot of Marie Curie fellows in any of the form, which I'll discuss in later. But what I'm going to start with the first, which Dr. Samrat has requested me to give a testimony. That means the experience which I had during my postdoctoral fellowship at Europe, especially I had a fellowship this in Spain, University of Polytechnic of Madrid. So I divided my testimony in a three-part: cultural, academics, and career. And as I was a little fascinated for the academics, that's what I would like to go for the academic first. So before I share my experience, I would like to tell you how I got this Marie Curie fellowship. So that is a very good experience which I had it. See, I did my PhD from IIT Delhi, and at that time I was not aware of this Marie Curie fellowship. And just after submitting, I started writing my applications to different professors for a postdoctoral fellowship. But I got several replies as well, and I got a reply one from the same university where I got this Marie Curie fellowship. Till now, they offered me the institutional fellowship. The professor Richard Norton, then he told me about this Marie Curie fellowship, and he told me that I should apply for that. And during those periods, that was somewhere in April, and April to May we wrote the application. Somewhere in July we submit our application, and March I got this fellowship. So that's how I got to introduce. So now I think we should thankful to the European Commission, EURAXESS, that they are putting their effort to tell all of you guys that this fellowship is available. Before you submit your PhD, you start exploring the options which you have it, and submit your quality applications. So coming to the academic experiences which I have it, as you know that when you go to the Europe is a very good destination for higher educations. So you have a lot of students which is coming from the foreign country, like in USA, Chile, China. So whenever you are going to work in any of the group in Europe, you will be having a global experience. So that's what whatever you want to discuss, you can discuss this in a global scenario. That is one of the best thing in Europe. You can have it. And it was a very learning experience during my postdoc because the relation which I had with my boss, my supervisor, Professor Richard Norton and Enrique Calleja, it was very flexible. They are very happy to help me in any of the case. Even they are initially they were helping me in personal as well, because when you go to any foreign country, you need a lot of personal support as well. And there was a discussion for research. It was a positive. Every day we used to discuss what we have to do in the next day and what we have done in the last day. So that's how research becomes very much productive. And as I told you that we have a lot of other students from different other countries. That's what whenever we discuss, we get a global scenario. Like if suppose I want to discuss something related to the solar cells, which there. So one I can tell the global scenario, the scenario in the India somewhere which is belongs to the Russia. He can tell the scenario for Russia, and somewhere he can tell the what actually the effort is being made in USA. So that's where you will get the scenario global perspectives. So what the best thing which you can get in Marie Curie fellowship, that you get some additional grant like a research grants. So I'll tell you what I did in my experience, that there was a system which you can see it here. This one, this system was there, and this system was not working since long. Okay, so that's what since 2000 this system is not working. This system is called the Marie Curie Alumni, Molecular Beam Epitaxy. And by using my research grant, which is given by Marie Curie Alumni, which is given by the Marie Curie Fellowship, I make this system work. So that's what after this system, the faculty has made me the in charge of this system, and I enjoyed being in charge of this system throughout my Marie Curie Fellowship. And you can see the good research out of that. And I published around 12 publications during my Marie Curie tenure. Coming to the cultural, the Europe, once you enter into the Europe, you have a lot of country to visit. And believe me, I have taken this advantage of visiting, I think almost all the countries in Europe. You can plan your travel in much advanced way, so that that will be the cost effective as well. And we have during my stay at Madrid, we were having a different Indian community, so we used to go to celebrate each of the festival. Like we celebrated Diwali, Holi, and you can't believe, okay, every festival, whatever we used to celebrate in India, we have celebrated there as well. And apart from that, when you read any cultural for any of the other country, you will just get in Wikipedia, or you will not get the real feeling. But when I was doing my postdocs, I talked with several other students which belongs to a different country, and they told about their real culture, what it means of. So that is something other different feeling which we have it during my Marie Curie tenure. After that, everybody thinks what I'll do after my Marie Curie fellowship. So the career becomes one of the most prospective future perspectives. So once I finish my Marie Curie, about to finish my Marie Curie fellowship, I have a lot of offers. University, the same university of the Polytechnic of Madrid has offered me to continue with the same grade scale, whatever I was working on. And I had an offer from EPFL Switzerland. I had an offer from Boston University, and I got an Inspire faculty. So you can see how good this fellowship is, how respect you will get entire duration and after getting this fellowship. But due to some personal reason, I was selected to come back to India and joined as Inspire faculty. And within a span of 1 year, I got this faculty job at Indian Association for the Cultivation of Sciences. So that's what a very brief testimony about my experience, because I have to tell about Marie Curie Alumni Association also. So that's what, now you become a Marie Curie fellow, and what is actually, I'll tell how and why we can utilize this Marie Curie Alumni Association platform. So Dr. Vivek has told you about the Marie Curie Fellowship. It has a 4 forms, like you can have either ITN, or you can have an individual fellowship, or you can have a RISE through the exchange network, and you can also have a co-fund for doing the PhD and postdoctoral. So if you have any of this fellowship, then you can become a member of Marie Curie Alumni Association, because this you can become member of association only when you are a fellowship holder of any of this form, either Marie Curie Action, or maybe co-fund, or ITN, or maybe RISE. So once you become a Marie Curie alumni member, then you have a lot of things to do it. Like basically the goal is to the societal benefit. We use the expertise of each and every individual Marie Curie fellow to give maximum benefit to the society, to knowledge, to disperse the knowledge, global, diverse, and informed society. So what we do, we utilize our global network, which is spread throughout the globally, and has the interdisciplinary collaborations as well. So with that, we actually work throughout the year and globally. And how we have work, so basically we form a board which is elected by the Marie Curie fellows, and they actually elect the board, which is having a 6 ordinary member and 5 executive committee member. And under that we have a 5 working group, 11 working group, and 36 chapters around the globe is working. And currently the total funding comes from the European Commission to maintain all expenses of that. And this is the last General Assembly happens in Vienna 2019. This year we could not able to have it because of this unprecedented situation. We had planned General Assembly in this time in Croatia, but we had everything online this time. So we had selected a new board as well. So this is the current board. We have a chair, 2 vice chair, treasurer, secretary, and 6 ordinary board members. So they actually mandate, they actually coordinate all these activities. So we have around 36 chapters around the globe. Indian chapter is one of them, and it is a 4th largest chapter around the globe. So we have around 350 members. All are having a Marie Curie fellowships, had or having. And apart from that, we have different working groups. Like when you do the research, you have a lot of other issues, like you are searching for the grants, awards, or maybe you want to organize one event, or you want to do networking, or you are facing some financial affair issue, or you may want to communicate for something. So all these, considering all these issues, we created 11 group where you can have more or less all the issues solved by the different experts, if you are facing not only during your Marie Curie tenure and after your Marie Curie tenure as well. So it is one of the most important, I would say, in career perspective or research perspective, alumni association throughout the year. So Indian chapter, as I told you, is the 4th largest chapter among all 36 chapters which we have in Marie Curie Alumni Association. We do a lot of dissemination activity. We are working very closely with the EURAXESS India, European delegation in India, CNRS, and other European bodies to disseminate the information for the Indian students, Indian faculties, and young Indian researchers, what are the opportunities they can have in Europe. And we organized several events. Last year we organized 3 big events, and this year also we had a plan with the EURAXESS India and European delegation. But due to this COVID situation, we have to actually replan this, and we have to do it online. These are some of the events which we organized last year. Basically, about what it offers, basically, I'll tell you that we have around 20,000 members in MCA Alumni Association, and they are spread around the globe. They have a different expertise in different disciplines, so you can do very good networking. So if any of the problem you are facing, you want to have a collaboration, or you want to have some discussion, or you want to form a debate, or you want to have any career enhancement options, we can actually select the expertise. Even 2 or 3 are Nobel laureate which is having in the MCA membership. So you can discuss all of your problem which you are facing, not only from your career perspective, but also your actually why you want to enhance your career. All these things you can discuss on this Marie Curie Alumni Association platform. Sorry. Apart from that, this association offers some grants. So once you become a member of the Marie Curie Alumni Association, you can utilize this grant to attend any of the conference. Like you can have a micro media grant if you want to publish some papers in the open access paper. You can acknowledge the Marie Curie Alumni Association, and you can reveal the grant. So though we have certain process, so that process you have to follow, you have to scrutinize, and all those things has to happen. But there is a process, there is a opportunity that you can get this micro media grant to publish your research, or making some publishing some books and other media related issues. You can use this micro travel grant to attend any of the conference, and also micro general assembly grant to attend the general assembly which happen every alternate year to elect a new board, or to have a very good conference related to different aspects. Micro one world grant, you can utilize it to go anywhere in the world after becoming a member of Marie Curie Alumni Association. This all fellowship, any of them, once you can get in a year. Okay, one fellowship you can get it 1 year, then alternate year you can utilize the second fellowship. We have several awards as well to recognize your efforts, our Marie Curie Alumni members' efforts. We have a MCA Career Award. This basically used to give the best career who is performing well. We do the best innovator award if you have innovated any very good thing which is very good for the societal benefits. We give the award to those researchers and those members who is associated with the Marie Curie Alumni. We do the social impact. Okay, we do a lot of social activities, and we select who has done the best social activities and outstanding contributor to get MCA in a very good form. We have these 4 awards. So if once you become a member, you can apply for this, and this is a very highly cited awards and very prestigious once you get it. So this is what we have in Marie Curie Alumni Association. If once you get this Marie Curie fellowship, you can join the Marie Curie Alumni Association in this website. And apart from that, if you are not also the member, still you can get a lot of other information like jobs in Europe and other prospects in Europe. With that, I would like to thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samrat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Praveen. I think it was very clear to see that Marie Curie Individual Fellowship is a lifetime award. It doesn't end postdoc itself. There are a lot of possibilities afterwards also to connect as an alumni, but also to apply for grants and be part of this I would say very privileged exclusive club of postdoc fellows. We have a few questions which came in, and I think I would like to take them now because I think they are very pressing, and maybe I'll ask Dr. Vivek to come back on screen. Go a bit through these questions, yeah, together. One question is regarding the application and the PhD. So I already tried to answer that at the date of submission, to have been awarded a PhD. This is a very strict rule, or you have to do 4 years of full-time research. There's no way around that. But the good news is for those who are not managing to finish their PhD this year, it will be also next year a Marie Curie postdoc opening call, so you can apply for next year, but you can already prepare for that now, right? And this is the
Perfect,
case.
perfect. Yeah, that is perfect.
So another question we were having was on the if deadlines might be changing due to the COVID situation. I would say at the moment the deadline is there, which is September 8th. There is no, if there is a change, we will inform, of course, all of you if there should be an extension of the deadline. But at the moment, there is no change in the deadline, right?
That's true.
Yeah, there is one question. While selecting a host organization, what should we keep in mind? Like big name institution, big labs, or big groups?
Very interesting question. I will, if I'm a researcher, always the big institutions make a big impact, but what happens so many times they're overcrowded as well. So if you get a big institutions, well and good, but doesn't undermine that in Europe, most of the institutions which are doing a research are having a very good quality of research, be it a university or research institutions. They are quite high standard, high quality. So I don't differentiate based on their visibility across the world. I will go what relevance of my researchers, how much my compatibility and their requirement matches with me, because the research host institution should be the one who strongly feel that you are the candidate who should be in their lab. If that feeling is there, I don't think so the visibility across the world is the criteria. Is how good you are making that proposal together will make a lot of impact.
One participant says he or she has his or her is nutritional epidemiology, and he or she is finding host institutions or fellowships in general. Do we have any recommendation for that participant? Nutritional epidemiology.
Maybe the Srini's lab could be the immediate one, but I'm not a specific expert of the institutions, but there are different forums which gives this opportunity to find appropriate host as per the theme. So we will share the possible tools how to find the institution. But my suggestion is I always go with the research publications. That is my first way of finding the host, because you from your area you must be following some teams in Europe which are parallelly doing the similar kind of research. So those could be the potential host institutions I will approach first. If I don't, then I will count on my thesis supervisors links. That could be, because one thing everybody should remember, that nobody wants to work with the strangers. So you need to establish kind of a relation or some way of communication so that both host and you are at comfort. So finding an host is the most challenging part, and you will need a sufficient time and expertise to find appropriate hosts. So we can give you the links, but at the end of the day, the researchers needs to find the appropriate host.
Absolutely, Vivek. And I think another important aspect here is that you should also check the journals in your field. Who are the leading researchers? Where are the labs? Where are they positioned? And then contact them. The good thing is you will get a response. People are very transparent, very welcoming. If there are young researchers and who want to apply for the Marie Curie Individual Fellowship, they will be very open and reply to you. And they will reply to you. So do your homework. Find the people in the field, and yeah. Vic,
just one more point, because a lot of time now the people are only looking at the research institutions and universities, but the fellowship is not only meant for this, the private industry, because the nutrition immunology is quite an having a strong angle of market oriented. So you can also contact European industry or SME who is working in this particular field as a potential host. That should be also explored.
Yeah. Also, the non-academic sector is open to be a host, right, Vivek?
Yes, that is what I.
So this is also good to live your horizon as well. Another question is taxability of the salary. If the postdoc salary of Marie Curie salary is taxable.
You can answer that, Praveen.
Yeah. Praveen.
Yeah.
Did you pay your postdoc salary?
Yes.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. It's taxable for everyone.
It's taxable as a normal contract.
Yeah. Just make sure that when it says fellowship, it doesn't mean as fellowship. Basically, you are recruited as a researcher. You will be having a status of a scientist. Okay. So all your salaries, all your financial is taxable, and that is why it is the significant amount provided. But I've been as a postdoc, and it make a sufficient amount. The very good amount remains with you after the tax deduction as well. So it's not a fellowship; it is a salary which you draw against this.
Yeah, adding to Vivek, actually, when you join as a Marie Curie fellow, you have to sign some contract. So it becomes a contract, not a fellowship. So according to the contract, according to their grade pay or actual, actually, I would say the annual salary, you will come into the tax slabs. So that's tax slab, you have to pay taxes. High salary means high taxes.
Yeah, but it means
still
also
you have a lot.
With security, social security will also be there for you. So this is a very good which we have, and absolutely very beneficial for researchers to apply. There's a question if one can choose a Canadian institute. No, the answer is it has to be one of the European countries we have mentioned, 27 plus the associated countries. So you cannot apply with a Canadian institute in this for this particular fellowship. Okay. Vivek will be sharing his presentation afterwards. We will send you a follow-up email and we will share all our presentations with you. And Dr. Vivek, another question. What are the chances for social science postdoc as they are not considered as labs? Would be great if you can give data. So secondly, does it affect chances if I previously awarded for a fellowship from the Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship in Germany?
Can you repeat? The voice was cut in between.
The question was if social science, is it also possible for researchers within social science to apply? And secondly, if one already has a fellowship in the past, like for instance Alexander von Humboldt fellowship, can apply?
Okay. The social science humanities is scientific field in Europe. I don't know why the India we differently treat that, but in Europe it is a integral part of science, technology, and innovation. So yes, the social science and humanities are eligible themes or panels to apply in. Secondly, Humboldt Fellowship in Germany. So that means you will have additional advantage of showing that you already as an excellence, so you can prove that. But again, the rule applies here in last 3 years. Okay, please remember that last 3 years you shouldn't have worked in the same institution or country for more than 12 months. That doesn't allow you to go back. So if I am in researchers at a particular career, I will try to widen my horizon more. I will try to bring my contacts and my research field globalized. So I already had an Humboldt. So for example, Germany, I know it. I will try to go to new country, a new lab. that will be a long-term, your research career very beneficial, because you are widening your research network. So please remember not to go to the same people. It is good to maintain the contacts, but at the same time you need to widen your research network. So this is a good opportunity. You can try to earn Sciences for example, in France. So one of the best in social sciences.
Yeah, and the very good news is that this fellowship particularly is bottom up. It is about your excellent research. There is no research priority set. So good news for all in social science humanities. This is a great chance to apply, because it's really what counts is your research and your research idea. And so definitely I would encourage also researchers in this field to apply for this fellowship. Vic, one question: do we need English proficiency tests such as IELTS or TOEFL to apply for the fellowship? Or Praveen, can you answer that?
Yeah, Praveen, please.
Yeah, you go ahead. I don't think so. It's required. You should have a good English to speak. Otherwise, as far as necessary requirement, you don't need anything.
So basically you don't need this test because your research publication will be showcasing your writing skills. But as an individual advice from my side, okay, it's not for the evaluators to convince your host institutions that you have a proficiency in English. These kinds of tests may help to build an confidence with the guy that he's investing in person which has a significant English proficiency. So this test never go waste. I will always ask the people, basically for the PhDs, I always recommend those people before you enroll for a PhD, you go for this kind of a test. But postdoc requirement is not mandatory, but always helpful.
Thank you. Two more questions we take now before we proceed with the last speaker, which is going to be me. Yeah,
Samrat, I just because the gender, you will also highlight the gender equality in the gender balance, because European Commission gives a lot of importance, a fair chance to female researchers. They encourage, but that doesn't mean encouragement compromise in excellence. So if the scores are tied and if the female is there, so priority may go to that particular female researcher. So doesn't mean a compromise in excellence, but encouragement is there.
Absolutely. Europe is very much concerned with gender equality. Many of the European countries have a very good gender balance index. There are career opportunities for female researchers are very good. So of course, for female researchers, it's absolutely very interesting to apply for this fellowship, I would say. And as Vivek said, there are strong concerns on having a gender balance in the fellowship program. As I said, we'll take two more questions now. I think it's a very good set of questions. Thank you so much for asking these questions, and I'm sure they're also useful for the participants. We have one question which I think is very interesting to take up now. The participant is asking, my research is an interdisciplinary one. It can be on engineering or life science. How do I decide which one to apply? What you say on that?
Okay, so basically you need to categorize yourself in one of the panel, because it is not the evaluators who is going to decide. So you and your host will decide, you, because it's not always interdisciplinary means is everything. So there tend to be have like if biotechnology and bioinformatics is a part of that. It tend to happen that your base is more inclined towards biotechnology, and informatics is covering 40% of this thing. So I will or any other field ICT related. So I have to choose myself. It is you are the one who will decide where which channel panel to select. Is not anyone, neither me or Samrat or anyone will able to is between your host and you. Also, my advice is to also look at the success rate in different panels, which is also available. But my strong advice is to discuss with your host institutions, host supervisor, which is the best panel to apply in.
Okay. There's one question about language, how to manage in Europe. Mostly the universities, the working language is English, especially if you come as international postdoc researcher. And of course, it's always good to study and learn a bit the language of the host country. It's always an advantage, but you will, very well get around with English. So that's something to worry about. The last question I wanted to take here is there are some questions regarding impact of their papers. Just to tell you, we are planning to do a dedicated webinar on the proposal, how to write the proposal, the tips and tricks for the proposal writing with an expert national contact point speaker from Europe. And we will go through all this for those who are really seriously interested to apply. So don't worry, we will come with a webinar specifically dedicated on proposal writing. Okay. The last question was, yeah, I think which is interesting, the proportion of awarded fellowships between people who have a PhD and who don't have a PhD, but this 4 years of full-time research. Do we have any statistics, Vivek?
No, we don't have a statistics as such because it is meant for you will come across the two words in Marie Curie quite often: early stage researchers and experienced researchers. Okay, so those people who had sufficient more than 4 years of research experience or PhD is considered as experienced researchers. There is no differentiation is made as such whether you have a PhD, so you will have a stronger chance, or those who without PhD will have a lesser chance. No, the excellence is based on the three categories which we already mentioned: excellence in implementation and impact. So the admissibility of the criteria is to prove that you have sufficient research experience which you can independently conduct the research. That is the underline asking a PhD or 4 years research.
Okay. One more question, which I think is a very general and important one, is as a fellowship awardee, can I take my family with me to the country, to the host country?
Yes.
Praveen.
Yes, even when you take your family to the country, you will get some family allowances as well.
There is a family allowance as well, so you can take your family and also your spouse and children with you, right, Vivek?
Exactly. So
depending on
in my one of the slide I also mention how much is the family allowance is provided. Basically, if you look at this particular fellowship, what the Marie Curie or the European Commission, when it comes to a research fellowship, they fund generously so that the financial is not a constraint. They also allow the family to be with you so that your emotional bonding is not somewhere else, and you are, so that gives the whole package where you can concentrate and focus on your research. So they take care of your financial constraints, family togetherness. And I think Praveen already mentioned, and there is also dedicated guidelines on EURAXESS, how what kind of visas and how do you find accommodations, all sort of information is available on EURAXESS. Yes, the question, the answer, simple answer is yes, you can take the family.
Thank you, Vivek, for making the transition to EURAXESS, because now we come to exactly those parts, how we can help researchers who want to come to Europe for a study, how EURAXESS can help them. I think so far it has been a very interesting session. We got a lot of good questions, and I will keep my presentation short so that we will have some more time for question and answers, because we have excellent panelists here. We have Dr. Vivek from the EU delegation and Dr. Praveen as the chair of the Curie Alumni Association as well. So I think it's very good to have those guys with us who can really give you straight answers to your questions. Okay, so I'll just for people who are not aware of EURAXESS, I'll give you a brief presentation. Switch off my camera as well. Are you able to see my presentation? Just to get a feedback. Yeah. Okay. So this initiative of the European Commission was started 2004, named EURAXESS, Researchers in Motion. And the idea behind how we can support researchers who are planning to come to Europe and how we can connect European researchers with the world. And I'm not just able to move my presentation. Seems to be it's yeah, okay. EURAXESS has 4 main components. It is how to enhance scientific collaboration between Europe and the world, and how to help researchers in their mobility, like in how to reduce the barriers of mobility, and how to help in developing their careers. The careers not only within academia, but also outside of academia. So a strong focus of EURAXESS is also to provide assistance for researchers who want to go out into the non-academic world. And of course, we are also trying to have a global impact, like how our researchers in India can connect with researchers across the globe, and how European researchers can connect with counterparts in India. We have 4 main components. I'm just struggling with getting the next slide going. Some problem in that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just have to do it like this. As you can see, we have 4 main components here. One, the most important, I would say, is the job and funding portal, which we have. This is a large database of thousands of jobs and funding opportunities published daily from across the European countries. So we have 42 countries who are supporting the EURAXESS initiative. And here you have a very user-friendly engine tool where you can type in your field of research, the area, the country you're looking, which kind of funding programs you're looking at. So this is very important for you to know that there is this job and funding tool. And also we have a travel grant section where we have a limited, but we have still some travel grants, which are where you can maybe apply to for maybe presenting a paper at a conference or traveling and so forth. Another tool is the partnering tool, where you can look for partner organizations and you can find host institutions. So this is very important for you now in this context of the Marie Curie Fellowship, how to find a host institution and how to contact them. We will come to that pretty soon. The fourth and last component of the EURAXESS initiative is the worldwide hubs. So we have offices, dedicated officers in different parts of the world, including India, where I am the country head. But we are also happy to connect you to our officers in the different countries like Japan, Australia, New Zealand, North America, if you have interest also to establish collaboration with researchers there. Again, the same problem. I'm not able to move my slide. Sorry for that again. Yeah. Here we have, just to give you some figures. Sorry. Yeah. Just to give you some figures, we have approximately 60,000 vacancies published annually. We on the portal, so this is the largest job database for researchers in the world. So currently we have around 12,000 open job vacancies in the European countries. We have approximately 1 lakh users with EURAXESS, so it's the largest database of researchers who are connected with each other. And offers are there in all areas of science, technology, innovation, and of course, social sciences, humanities as well. So the portal is our main key at EURAXESS. Here you find a lot of documents and informations for career development, training sessions, webinars, as we are doing right now, science communication seminars, how to improve your communication skills, how to write proposals, for instance, as well, and intercultural competence. We have the main platform is supported by 40 plus national websites. So if you're interested to know more about the research and study landscape of countries like Austria, Sweden, Hungary, you just go to the dedicated national websites, and you find a lot about information for how to apply for fellowships, what funding opportunities are there. Also, as a researcher, if you're planning to move to one of those countries, there are dedicated officers at EURAXESS officers and centers, which will help you also for the move, help you with finding accommodation, helping your family and your children also to accommodate and to settle in the host country. So we have approximately 600 service centers across the 40 plus countries. So I think this is a very hands-on and very dedicated initiative, which is very personalized. So you get really personalized assistance. So once you are applying or you have decided to which country you're planning to go, you just contact us or you contact directly the national officers. We will definitely help you to put you in contact and help you facilitating your move to Europe. Okay. I'm really sorry that I'm struggling with moving on my presentation. Let me just see again. Okay, there seems to be a problem. Is it okay if I keep it like this? Can you still see it? Yeah? Okay, so as I said, we have a worldwide project as well. Like we have the national websites, the national portals, and national centers in Europe, but we have also worldwide hubs in as you see on the map. And what do we do on the EURAXESS Worldwide Network? We give you tailored information on jobs. For specifically now for India, we will filter out application funding and job opportunities which are specifically for Indian researchers, where Indian researchers are eligible to apply. We provide email alerts about new call events and news. We help to connect our researchers with other professionals, and we give you an access about updated information about EU research policy, EU policies in general, also especially with regards to the COVID-19 situation. You get a lot of information from us, what is happening on the EU front regarding that. This is our website, EURAXESS India, so I kindly invite you to visit that for those who have not been there, and also to sign up and become a member for free. This is a very important information also. This is a free tool, a free membership where you get like all the informations firsthand about EU mobility grants, funding opportunities in the different countries. So I encourage you to go to our website and click on that button here to sign up, and then you will get an invitation and an email, a welcome email from our side. Now I want to give you some examples which Dr. Vivek was talking about. The Marie Skłodowska Curie actions, as he told, there are 4 programs, and what we today talked about was the individual fellowship. But beside that, we also have the Research Innovation Staff Exchange program, which is very interesting for Indian institutions who would like to collaborate with European partners. The deadline has been extended to 12th of May. I would encourage you, for those who are interested in international collaboration, be part of a consortium, to look at that. You can find the link on our website to more information about the RISE. We have also a lot of PhD opportunities, not only postdoc under the Marie Curie actions. So for instance, right now we have 11 PhD positions in anti-cancer research. Deadline is 1st of June. We have 27 PhD fellowship opportunities in photonic research and also in antibiotic therapy. So for those who are pursuing want to pursue a PhD, there are, under the Marie Curie, there are a lot of PhD opportunities also available right now. Okay. So now back to the individual fellowship. As Dr. Vivek was telling you, they are hosting universities, organizations in Europe who are looking for researchers who would like to come and pursue their Marie Curie postdoc with them. And we have more than 350 hosting offers across Europe right now. what you have to do, you just go to our india.euraxess.org website, and there will be one dedicated section on the hosting offers, and you can browse through them. And we already gave you some tips that now is a very good time because the call just opened to find the right institute, the right lab, the right offer, and write to them, approach them. And you know, as I said, you will definitely get a response. This is a very good thing in Europe, that you will people take you very seriously. Our tip again is, don't write too much about yourself, what you are. Of course, mention that, you know, what has been your PhD, your research field, your thesis about, but show that you know about the host institution, you know about the department, you know about the supervisor, you know. Be in that sense very good in your homework. Show that you have knowledge about their research field and their research projects. Okay, and more than 350 hosting offers. I think this is a very good number. So I'm sure there will be something for one of you guys to you know, one of the institutions which will fit your research background. So what you have to do is just to go to the website of EURAXESS, and then you will see the opportunity for hosting offers. Just to give you some examples, like some of those countries which are less known, for instance, Cyprus, there's the Climate and Atmosphere Research Center is looking for to host a Marie Curie Fellow. Malta, also a small country in Europe, is also welcoming people who are interested. They should contact them. Slovenia, also a country in the south of Europe. Yeah, the University of Ljubljana is also, the Institute of Biology is also looking for potential candidates. So you can see that there are not only the big countries, but also the small countries which are looking for hosts. And Ireland, for instance, is also looking, the Trinity College is looking for potential individual fellowship fellows. Finland, University of Helsinki has also is ready to host interested candidates. Norway, the University of Agder, is also looking for potential candidates in the field of artificial intelligence, renewable energy, physics, mathematics, education. So it's a good time. There are deadlines, of course, to send your expression of interest, which is this month. So please do now go now on the website and now find the right host institution and start working on applying to them. Another example is Belgium. The University of Louvain is also looking for potential candidates. University of Granada in Spain, also Luxembourg. Also, there are many organizations in Luxembourg right now who are looking for inviting people to apply for the Marie Curie Fellowship to be hosted there. Okay. Apart from that, we also offer information on fellowship and funding in EU member states and countries associated to Horizon 2020. For instance, the British Council, in collaboration with the DBT, announces a grant for holding a workshop under the Newton-Barbour Fund program. Germany right now has the German Chancellor Fellowship for Young Leaders of Tomorrow. Deadline is in September, so you can also look up those calls on our website. But if you sign up and become a member, then we basically help you a lot, because we will send you those informations on a regular basis. So we will do a bit of homework for you and keep you updated about upcoming calls and events. There are also some bilateral calls, India and European countries, which might be of interest for already established, experienced researchers. There's in Portugal, India has a call right now. Spain, India is a call on industrial research and development. Sweden, India have a call on artificial intelligence for advancing healthcare across India and Sweden. So many interesting opportunities also, of course, for more experienced senior researchers as well. So join the EURAXESS community, register, get information from us on a regular basis, be part of our exciting global community as well. Of course, we also do events throughout the year. Now, due to the COVID situation, we are, of course, a bit limited with physical events, but we hope in the second half of the year, we will resume again, and we will come to different cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, and Kolkata as well. So we're hopeful that things will get normal again, and we will have the opportunity to meet you in person. Our EURAXESS India Science Slam competition, which maybe some of you know, is on. We are for sure holding an online version of it, where researchers, young researchers, can explain their science in a fun and entertaining way. Check out what the Science Slam is about. The first prize is a round trip to Europe. We have the idea behind is to make science more fun and accessible, through showing your talent. You know, maybe you can express your research through theater or experiments on stage. These are the winners of the last 2 years. Prabhahan, who is doing now a postdoc in France. Sayani was the winner last year. She's planning her trip to Europe. It has been a bit delayed because of the COVID-19 situation, but we are very optimistic to send her this year to Europe for her trip. Okay, join us, guys, who have not joined yet. We have a lot of exciting things for you. Again, to just summarize, the network is open to all researchers of all stages of their careers. It's open to European and Indian initiatives. You get timely, very timely, and first-hand information on EU-funded courses and fellowships. And it's open to all kinds of universities, institutions. The membership is free. So do write to us if you have more questions also regarding your own research career at india@euraxess.net. You can follow us, of course, on Facebook and Twitter as well. So this is my presentation. I'm sorry again that the full screen modus didn't work properly, but let's come back to the. Okay, I just have to come back to you guys now. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me, Vivek? And yeah, we still have a few minutes for question and answers. Yeah, and let me.
Yes.
Okay. There's one question. Can I resign between the fellowship duration if I get some favorable position somewhere else as a faculty, say after 8-9 months? Vivek, you are muted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. So is it possible to resign from the fellowship and take up a position?
Yeah, but obviously this is not an binding contract. Obviously the lab will be a little bit disappointed, but you can always, if you have a permanent position offer, you can go in between. But most preferably, anybody investing in time in the position, they wants the person to make a full tenure to be complete. But Praveen, you want to add on to it?
Yeah, I just somehow missed it because of some reason. Can you repeat the question again?
No, there was one question. Let's say I get the fellowship and then I get an offer. Can I fellowship and from it?
Can I?
Quit. Can he resign, quit the Marie Curie and go for the permanent position?
Yeah, he can. He can. At the time he can quit the fellowship. Okay, but there is some process for the university and also European Commission. So suppose you want to quit the fellowship, you have to inform the commission prior to 2-3 months. Okay, there are some guidelines to quit. So all those, and also for the university, you have to follow all the guidelines to quit the fellowship. There's a possibility.
Okay. So, dear participants, those who are still with us, you know, it has been already almost 2 hours. Thank you so much for your patience and listening to us. Now is still the time to directly send some questions to our panelists. Otherwise, of course, you can send email to us and we will forward them. But we still have 5 more minutes. I see in the chat box One question is, can you suggest where to find the success rate panel-wise?
Yeah, we will share the link as well as the presentation. You can just Google out there's a plenty with the Marie Curie. The problem is you have plenty of information available, but definitely we will share the information. But just to add on what you mentioned, Samrat, regarding the writing to the host institutions in Europe, my appeal to all the Indian applicants that before you apply, as he said, you understand the lab's activity and each and every details and before you writing. But there is also one important point to be noted, that you have to sell yourself to the lab. So you will make sure when you propose yourself what additional skills, what additional benefit you're going to bring to that particular lab, then only they will be attracted to get you. Because if you are always a recipient, then you are not a very valuable candidate to the lab. So what kind of a research skills background you bring to that lab, and that makes mutually benefited. So that is the point which you should emphasize when you're writing to the professor. So that should catch the attention.
Yeah, very good point. Thank you. One question was, I'm in my 5th year and about to submit my thesis in the upcoming months, but I'm not sure whether the defense will be over by September. Whether I'm eligible for the fellowship.
According to me, it is no. You have to have a PhD degree, at least a provisional PhD award degree letter in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but he can go for
Sorry, Praveen?
he can go for the co-fund fellowship. There are some experienced researcher is required in co-fund fellowships.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Vivek can correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we are because he was targeting the individual fellowship for this, so we wanted to give a clear answer. So the answer is, at the time of submission, at least you should have a provisional degree in hand.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing if we can take 2-3 more questions, right? There was one question. Again, this was sorry.
By the time you scroll down, I will just want to give one more advice to the applicants, because if you read, because I'm also going through a lot of literature, the people who testimonies, the very important thing that when you are writing how this particular fellowship is going to help you in your future career. So that part needs to be extensively elaborated. You need to take a lot of information from your Indian host institutions as well as the European. So make sure this career development is well spelled out in your proposal.
We have questions regarding medical research, medical science. Which countries would we suggest look for, where we have good medical facilities, research institutions in Europe?
As a commission, we cannot favor anybody, because we are supposed to present all the 44 countries. So it's not appropriate, I will say, that this should be the better and that should be better. But my advice is I will try to be neutral in that sense.
Yeah. I think this is something, this homework you have to do by yourself. Go through the labs institutions and which would fit you. Like, again, a country-wise, there is not a big difference between the European countries and the research infrastructure. You can they have excellent labs in Eastern European countries, in Southern European countries. Of course, we know more about France, UK, Germany as research destinations, but Cyprus, Malta, Hungary, or other smaller, less known countries have excellent medical research labs as well. So it really depends which project you want to be part of, which supervisor is appealing to you, which institution you would fit there. So don't go for those like only for the big countries. Through your research, you have 43 countries to choose from. This is actually a huge privilege. You know, it's actually like a, yeah, I think it's extraordinary that you have this opportunity to look in 43 countries. And right now there are many hosting, so this is a good time to look into and contact, you know, not contact maybe one, contact a few and see what the response is, right? And of course, send us also if you have any specific questions, we're happy to help you. I think we're reaching the end now. We are getting some more questions in, but I'm seeing also people are saying goodbye already. So it's lunchtime here in India, of course, and we are 2 hours excellent session, I would say. Thank you so much, Dr. Vivek and Dr. Praveen, for joining us. And yeah, we'll stay in touch with you. Thank you so much, dear participants. I hope this was a very useful, insightful webinar for you. We're planning to do some more webinars. So the EU delegation is doing webinars in the coming weeks, so you will hear more from us. Also, the Marie Curie Alumni Chapter is planning to do some webinars, and we will keep you informed. And we will do some on PhDs, we will do some on proposal writing, on science communication. So stay tuned, follow us, and we'll see you soon again. Thank you so much, all of you, for participating. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.